Well, some things are a little different, as you can see. We'll get to that in a minute. And yes, it looks terrible because of the hood that I have. Coffin hood with a flat hood headlight setup. But as you can see, we are no longer at the house. I am back at my apartment complex. I got tired of working in dirt and rocks and what have you. And I missed having a garage. So we are back. Just on the opposite side of the street, but same apartments. Scotia's been great. Just trying to give you all a little update on what's going on. Nothing so far. I am currently trying to diagnose a no overdrive issue. I haven't had overdrive in this car since the swap. I had it once, then I did a wide open throttle pull. And after that, overdrive never worked again. And every time I drive, I usually stay around 50 to 60-ish miles an hour. I've never really gone faster than that since the swap. But yesterday, well, let me backtrack to what I was actually getting into. Was I've never been able to get into overdrive when I'm at 50 to 60 miles an hour. So RPMs stay at like 3 to 3,500 RPM. So I try to keep it lower and slower. Well, yesterday I was coming home and I'm in third gear and I'm doing about 65 and a car flies past me. So I floor it, and I've got it set to 20 PSI on a 13C turbo with a 3-inch downpipe. It's not efficient for that turbo, but fuck, does it rip. I caught up to the guy and the car shifted into overdrive and kept on pulling. And it didn't shift until about 70 miles an hour. And I'm like, what the hell? I haven't had overdrive this entire time until 70 miles an hour. So after that, I did a couple more tests. I'd go on an open road and I'd just floor it, and eventually fourth gear would hit at 70 miles an hour. And you can just be cruising at 50, 60, foot off the gas. It doesn't matter how light you are on the throttle, it's not going to shift. So what I did yesterday was I adjusted the kickdown cable, and I pulled my overdrive solenoid off and then cut a slit between the two passages, just because I don't have a bypass, so I bypassed it myself. But since it's still having an issue to where it only likes to do it at 70 miles an hour, I'm going to adjust this kickdown cable because I think I have too much slack in it, and I have it set to where it doesn't kick down until right here at wide open throttle. Wait for it to focus. Right there. That's where the kickdown, you can feel it coming in. And it shifts very, very early. You could be doing about 10, 15 miles an hour and you're already in third gear. So I'm gonna tighten that kickdown cable, and I'm also gonna pull the overdrive solenoid back off, start the car, run it through the gears for a couple seconds, and try to shoot if there's any blockages in the overdrive passage, try to shoot those out, put the solenoid back on. Hopefully that'll fix it. Other than that, this car has been perfectly fine. It's been fun. But I'm gonna leave that up actually. So yeah, you're probably wondering about this. I scored this from a buddy locally. I love it. I never thought I would like this setup on this car. I remember we talked about this when I had that dark blue 242 that I was supposed to restore. I was gonna swap the flat hood on it and this front end, but I didn't think it would go well with the wheels and the paint color. But I really love it. So if you have a flat hood for sale, please hit me up. I will buy it, paint match it to the car, and put it on here. The whole reason I had even changed the setup in the first place is because my buddy Caden, if you remember the gray wagon or light blue wagon that I bought that he had, he got into an accident. Some guy pulled out in front of him and he tried to hit the brakes and he just slammed right into the side of this truck and totaled the front end. I'll show you a picture of that. But that car's totaled, and luckily he wasn't using his quad square headlights, which I have back here. I was running those until I bought those 3 days ago. But I've got the quad round. Did I say quad squares? I did. Quad rounds. Quad rounds is what I was running on the car. And I have my quad squares with my bright ass LEDs hidden down there. So I've got, you know, you got the quad squares, the quad rounds, and now the single rounds. I think I'm gonna throw the quad rounds back on just because the nose of the hood looks weird with this front end. It sucks, but I really love this front end. So if I just had the matching hood, this wouldn't be an issue. Other updates, what else? This car, as you can see, we were mismatching of wheels. So what happened here was the day after I moved into these apartments, I got into a little accident with a curb. You can see my wheels like they're supposed to be on this side. And I hit the curb on the driver's side, bent the hell out of the driver's side wheel, bent the hell out of the back wheel, and actually bent the rear camber arm so my wheel was sitting like this. But I had the rear camber arm replaced with some adjustable ones so I can adjust my camber. And I went to go buy new wheels because they were so curb rashed, and like this is obviously you can't repair this because these are like spikes here at the end. So you can't add material. I'm sure you could, but I'm not gonna, you know, bother with that. These are just ruined and they're bent. So I went to try to replace these, and to get this wheel, it was back ordered until September because of the spec. It's a 19 by 9.5 with a 39 offset. Wouldn't get it till September. The front is a 19 by 8 at a 35 offset, and they could get me that one. Well, I'm not gonna ride around with just, you know, one mismatched wheel, even though I currently am. But so what I decided to do, instead of spending $900 on two wheels and a tire, is buy these stock wheels. They're from a 2006 Sport, and just black them out, go with a different scheme. They're in terrible condition. That's why I only have one on the car at the moment. I have a guy who's gonna be coming to pick these up in about an hour to sandblast them. You can see this one in here. I tried the aircraft paint remove it, and it just did not go well at all. There was like a layer of the base layer of the wheels were like a silver, and then like a primer, and then plasti dip over that, and then black, and then gold. As you can see, just so many layers of paint, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna have him pick these up, sandblast them, and then I can go through and sand all the curb rash out myself and then paint them, because that's exactly how that one looked. But I ended up wire wheeling this one myself. It took me 2 days, but it came out very nice around all the edges. A little piece of something in there. But yeah, that's the update on everything going on. Car still runs great. Still needs an alignment just because it's never had one. I don't know. I don't feature this car on this channel because nobody really cares. So, and the Honda Ruckus, this is my buddy Blake's, which it might be mine soon. I was riding this after I wrecked this because I didn't want to drive Scotia because it leaks a lot of oil. And I rode this for about 2 days, and then the stator went out, so that's, you know, no longer running. So I might buy it from them just so I can use it to get around town. Now that I'm back in this city that I'm in, it's, you know, close range to everything that I do. I can just ride around on a little 49cc scooter and have some fun. But I've got all my posters hung up in here. Lam Descend up there. Rocking my custom cup that Blake, the owner of this bike, made for me. Wish he would have done it Scotia Blue, but you know, there's always a opportunity to make new ones. But Haven't done much else in this corner. That's just kind of the I'll get to it later corner. Still have the non-turbo squirter block I haven't done anything with. All of my stuff is organized now. Detail stuff, more detail stuff, all kind of Volvo ignition control units, motor mounts, relays, some rear service stuff that they used in the service department in the Volvos where you hook up to the ECUs and stuff. We've got a fuck ton of ECUs over here, some speedometers, turbos, lights, things of that nature. Spacers, fans, shrouds, door pockets, turbos. But yeah, just wanted to update you guys on what was going on with the cars. I still do plan on taking this motor out just because the rear main seal and the oil pan gasket are leaking because I didn't seal them correctly. I didn't use RTV. And so it's got a pretty nasty leak, as you can see under the car. I moved in here 10 minutes ago and it's already dripping right there. But my driveway is now ruined. And I also park it in this one spot over here. And that is, you know, the way that it is. Yeah. But we're gonna pull this motor out and I'll probably do some other stuff to it while it's out. Bigger intercooler, bigger injectors, a nice camshaft, bigger turbo, actually adjust my adjustable cam gear that I never adjusted because I don't know why. Finish the exhaust, you know. Just try to make it more fun. And I actually might micro squirt or mega squirt, whichever one. Now that Dave Barton has the conversion harness for it. Whenever I was doing this build, he didn't have that harness at the time, but he now has a plug and play harness for micro or mega squirt. I don't know which one it is. So that might be a route that I take because I've got a buddy that can tune it. And this car would be a lot more fun, not on stock engine management, LH 2.2 Easy K. So that's what we got going on. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this kickdown cable and fix this overdrive issue, or at least try. And we will see y'all when we see y'all.